Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Influence Podcast. I'm Jordan Banderas, and before we get started, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button so you don't miss out on any episodes. Now, with everything that's going on, we're always looking for an escape. I've seen people that are looking on TV, on social media, pretty much anywhere to find an escape from everything that's going on. And it's understandable. I mean, the news are always negative. People are always fighting on TV and all of these things that are happening. So it's understandable to try to look for something that takes your attention away from your everyday to-day life, right? And here's what I've seen. A lot of people are paying attention to reality TV shows right now. And what happens is that after work, and probably we've all been there, where you're just chilling on the couch, eating your favorite snack, your favorite potato chips, you're eating ice cream and wherever, and all of a sudden, a reality TV show pops up, and you're hooked. You get super invested in the drama of it all, and before you know it, you're comparing your life to those of the people on screen. I have done it. I've done it in the past. I caught myself doing that. And I know people that are actually doing that all the time as well. But the problem is that it's so easy to think that since it has the word reality on it, in it, everything you see is totally authentic and unscripted. But I gotta tell you though, that's not always the case. And the problem that I see nowadays is that back in the day, that's how it should always have been, or it should always be, is that we're supposed to look at our parents as role models, right? We're supposed to see our parents as the best role models that we have. But with today's busy life, one of the things that's happening, and I have noticed this, is that parents are not spending enough time with their kids. And it's understandable, they're tired, like I have said on a previous episode. I'm not chastising parents or anything like that, but because life right now is hard. You have to work just to be able to afford your roof over your head. You're tired. Like, there's a lot of things happening in life right now. So you don't have enough time to spend with your kids. But I know a lot of you guys are trying. I see it. Now, this is based on my own experience. If there is no role model at home, we will look elsewhere. Like TV shows. I used to look up to TV shows. But back in the day, when I was growing up, there were shows like Home Improvement, Full House, The Addams Families for some. There were shows like that, more family-centered. But now, here's the shift. And this is something that we need to pay attention because of everything that's going on. Now kids are actually looking up to reality TV stars as role models, which in my opinion is not good for kids or for anybody, because a lot of the times these particular celebrities or reality TV stars are just trying to sell you a lifestyle that you may not be able to afford. So in the end, you're going to feel worse about yourself because you're not going to be able to afford their lifestyle. Even though they may have the same problems or the same issues that you have and you can relate to them, they still have a different lifestyle because they're making money off of their shows or even their online posts, their social media posts. So they can buy a big house while you can't, and then you start comparing yourself and you feel bad. I've done it in the past, like I said, and I see people do it now all the time. I hear it at work. But my biggest issue with reality TV shows is that sometimes the people on these shows give the worst advice. For example, the other day my wife was watching a reality TV show where one of the people on the show, this girl, decided to go to therapy, right? Because she has a lot of emotional issues. She even said that on the episode. But after just 2 therapy visits, she was all like, "Oh, I'm cured. I don't need to go to therapy anymore. I'm going to be able to change my life. I have become a better human, a better person," and all of that. So when my wife saw that, she called me and rewound the show and to show me that particular scene and asked me for my opinion, which was, I wish it was that easy to just go to therapy for 2 sessions and be like, "I'm cured. I don't have PTSD anymore. I don't have depression. I don't have anxiety." Because it's not. So, in my opinion, that's complete and utter bullshit. Because after 2 sessions of therapy, you're barely scraping the surface. You're not getting that deep. So in this particular show, this lady said like, "I'm cured and everything." So I became curious because this particular show has a lot of viewership. They have a big following on social media. So I went online. I went to the Instagram page for this particular show to look at this particular episode and read some of the comments. And I noticed that a lot of the comments were from teenage girls. Although this show is popular between teens or among teens, there are many shows like it. So initially, most of the comments were positive, with people saying that they will try therapy, that after watching this episode, that they're gonna try to become a better person, they're gonna work on their emotional issues and all of that. So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's good." But at that point, I also got intrigued. So what I decided to do is that I revisited the page a few weeks later. I think it was a month later. And at this point, everything had changed. Because I would start reading the comments again. There were a lot more comments. And what I saw, to my surprise, is that the comments had turned negative. They were all negative now. So the same people that had said, "Oh, I'm going to go to therapy, this show is amazing," whatever, were actually now saying that therapy didn't work for them, that they were more depressed than ever before after just 2 sessions, that they're more anxious, that they're more depressed, that they feel like a failure because therapy didn't work for them. They were posting all these negative comments about themselves. And here's what also caught my attention, because some of the comments were still saying that they wanted to be like the people on the show so they could work through their issues that fast. Because according to the actual episode and according to the person on the show, therapy worked for them after 2 sessions. And just to be honest, it hasn't worked for this particular person, because after multiple episodes, after this particular episode in regards to the therapy, she's still having the same emotional issues. She's still making the same mistakes. So obviously it didn't work. So because of everything that was happening, because of everything that I read on this particular show, I did some research about reality TV shows. And since I'm the bad influence, I'm going to share with you what I found. And after listening to this, you can decide if it's worth wasting your time on these shows or not. Here's the problem, or here's the thing, depending on how you see it, because it can become a big problem or it's just a little thing. Reality TV shows are known to manipulate the footage to suit their desired storyline. The producers will edit the scenes to make it appear as if the characters say or do things that never happen, or they change the sequence of events, so you can actually get more intrigued, and therefore what the audience sees might not be what truly transpired, which is important to understand. They're just trying to get your attention. And I'll give you this example. Let's just say a reality TV star could have been in trouble with the law weeks before the episode air, right? And they have it on footage. But what they do sometimes is that the producers can choose to release any information about it later for dramatic effects, even to the press. So what they can do in this type of situations is that even after it has been filmed and there's like police records or whatever, they decide to release all that information after the episode air or just a few days before it aired, kind of like to make it look like they're recording within days of everything happening. But that's not the case. That's just gonna be more intriguing for you, and you're gonna be like, I can't miss this episode because this person is gonna go to jail. You know, like, we're nosy like that. We all are. We get intrigued. We get invested on drama like that, and that's pretty much what they do in this type of situations with reality TV. But it's also important to realize that the personalities we see in reality TV shows are not actors in the traditional sense, but rather performers. So despite what is depicted on screen, the individuals featured on these particular shows are not always true to themselves. One of the things that they actually do a lot is that they tend to amplify their emotions or actions, and sometimes, well, a lot of the times, they tend to cross ethical boundaries to garner more airtime. And when they're featured more on the show or on the episodes, they can make more money. Because if people react to whatever they're doing and they start posting online about it, they start following this particular person on social media, then they can go back to the producers and say like, well, on the next season, I want you to pay me $1 million for an episode. And if they have the following to back that up, they will get that money. But it's all because of their actions that you get intrigued. So you're like, this person is crazy. I'm going to follow it. I've done it. Like I said, I've done it. And here's the problem with all of that, because essentially their words and actions may not reflect their reality. They're just acting. They're just trying to make sure that you're watching them. So everything becomes a calculated performance designed to keep the viewers engaged. And we fall into it. We're like, wow, this person has a fucked up life, more fucked up than mine. This person has a good life. This person, I want their life. That's pretty much what we do. Like I said, I've done it. And another bigger issue now, especially with social media, is that the lines between reality and morality when it comes to social media, they get blurred very easily, because many of these particular TV personalities, reality TV personalities, boost a large following on social media where they frequently share glimpses of their lives outside of the show. And it's so easy to become entranced by the glamour, the cars, the clothes, the house, and everything. And we think that that's their real lives. But most of the time, they're just trying to sell us their lifestyle, sell us that they're going to be on this particular show. So it's important to remember that these individuals are professional entertainers, and everything they post on their social media is part of their performance in the entertainment industry, so they can actually get more airtime so the show can actually grow the audience. So there's so many things that happen. And another thing that I I see with reality TV shows, especially after reading all these comments, is that we don't know how to differentiate reality and morality when it comes to reality TV shows. Because in our day to day lives, ordinary people like you and me tend not to make decisions based on dramatic twists and turns. In contrast, the characters portrayed on reality TV shows often engage in unhealthy and unwise choices just to make the show more appealing. Now, in the real world, we must acknowledge that our actions have consequences, and it is our responsibility to take ownership of them. And what happens in reality TV shows is that you can go to a restaurant, a club, pretty much anywhere in the world, and you can get in a fight with your entourage, with the people around you. You get in a fight, you start shouting, you start fighting with each other, you start throwing punches, you start throwing plates, you destroy the whole place, the whole table gets like shattered. And you don't get in trouble. The cops don't get called. But if you do it, if you and me do it, we're going to get arrested. And then we're going to end up being recorded by someone else, posting it on social media, and then we're going to look like Karens or Chats, right? But reality TV shows don't do that. They get on these dramatic fights, dramatic twists and turns, and the next day, they're okay. And that shows you that everything is scripted, that you don't have to believe everything they do or they say, because they're just trying to get your attention so you can watch more and more episodes. So that way they can actually renew the next season. Once the first season airs, they're already thinking about the next season and the next season. So they're trying to get you to watch the show. And by doing that, you're going to start comparing your life. And then you're going to try to buy everything they try to sell you, even though it may be expensive, or even though it may be bullshit what they're trying to sell you. Because we all know this particular TV stars, they sell creams and lotions and all these things that sometimes may not even work for you. But you're trying to buy them because according to them it works, right? So from my perspective, reality TV shows can be enjoyable to watch. I watch them. I like them. I like to literally pay attention to the storyline, to the body language, to almost like study everything that happens, because I love psychology, and I'm like, you know what, I will never do something like that, like I kind of like, it helps me understand people and how they act sometimes. However, it is crucial to keep in mind that these shows are carefully crafted to present a particular angle. So it's essential not to compare your life to what you see on the screen. Instead, what we should be doing, we should be assessing the choices we make in our own lives and ensure that we're making them for the right reasons, not just to pretend to be something that we're not, or to pretend that we have enough money to live when we barely can afford rent, So therefore, it's essential to think critically about your life, and always remember that reality TV is just that, a form of entertainment. So don't let it shape your reality and the perception of the world. Because in the end, if you do that, you're going to end up hurting yourself. Like I said, a lot of people compare themselves to what they see on the shows, and then they feel bad because they think, oh, well, this person has a more fucked up life than me, and they can live this lifestyle. Why can't I? So that actually hurts you emotionally, physically, and mentally. So that's pretty much what I had to share on today's episode. I wanted to give my 2 cents in regards to that. So thank you for listening. Thank you for the growth and the feedback. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The links are available on the episode's description. And we're also on Threads. We're pretty much everywhere. So here are my final thoughts. Fuck reality TV and their drama. And have a great day.